How many of us have given away our power to judgments like that? We give away our power to people who have opinions, thoughts on circumstances that have pushed us out of the way. How we navigate the power of our words, because what we say is powerful. How to redefine fear and what fear actually means and how to overcome it. How we release judgment and stop giving our power away. But in order to do that, we have to go into those vulnerable places. We have to go into those little places that we tuck away and we don't want anyone else to see. Notice how I think. Notice how I see the world. Notice how the world impacts me, and notice how I choose to impact the world.
Hello, beautiful souls. It is Sophia from Sacred You. Thank you so much for being here. Before we dive into today's podcast, I do have a small request from my heart. If our conversations ever resonate with you or have supported you on your journey, please subscribe to our channel or like this video. It helps us grow Sacred You, welcome more powerful voices into this space, and keep you connected to everything we share. Thank you for walking this path with us. Let us begin with today's conversation. Welcome to the Pathways to Wellbeing podcast. My name is Sophie from Sacred You, and I am really excited because with me on today's episode is the beautiful Dr. Enolia, who's joining us to talk about all different topics that is close to my heart. Dr. Enolia, you're going to be giving a masterclass, basically, in Empower, Achieve, and Succeed through Self-Mastery. And this has been something, it's a lifelong journey for me and for so many people out there. So first of all, welcome. And yeah, let's have a great conversation because you are a respected grandmother, an elder, a modern day medicine woman, want to know more about that, and an international thought leader. But Dr. Enolia, I really would like to get to know you and what first led you to dedicate your life to helping other people to rebuild themselves. Where did you get to where you are now?
If you're asking me for the first inspiration, I have to credit that to my mother. And I watched my mother as a nurse help so many people, but you don't really understand how it's impact people, how as a person you impact people, sometimes until you're gone. And I was at my mother's funeral. And to my surprise, our family's surprise, like 350, 400 people showed up. And they showed up because Nurse Harris had passed away. And she had done so many different things to impact people's lives. Something as small as she lent me car fare at a time that I was stranded, all the way to tremendous things. And I'm looking at the story after story of all of the lives that she touched. And as a young lady, I looked at this and I said, if I could do an eighth of what my mother did, I would feel like life was worth living. It was just that tremendous. It had that tremendous of an impact with me. Just all these strangers walking up to me, telling me what my mother had done. So for me, I started thinking about legacy. I started thinking about, how do I want to be remembered? What is it that I want people to remember me for? And how important is it to me to be remembered that way? And I had the perfect example. So that's where it started. That truly is. She always took me with her as she was helping people. But again, it was that moment, it was that precipice of, now that she's gone, all of these people were all gathered in one space to share the same story.
Isn't it amazing? I can actually feel that energy, that emotion now.
Oh, yeah.
That you've experienced with your mother. It's such a wonderful story and opportunity from what your mother has passed down.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And it doesn't take away from my father, who was a kind person also, but it was just that she stood out in my mind. Yeah. She really she's my love. She's the love of my heart. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Now you've got to who you are now.
Yes.
And
So that pathway drives you.
yes,
That inspiration is a seed in your heart, and as it grows, you just don't know how it's going to grow. And I had it very interesting coming because it's like I always understood, and my mother and our family never minced words about having a gift, implementing your gift, whatever that gift may be, that you would move forward. And I always looked at my mom and the gift of healing, but she went through the actual modern medicine way. And when she passed, and my parents both passed away early in my life, and as I'm finding my way, I eventually met medicine women while I was in corporate. And I wanted to get to know these beautiful women, these elders. One stood out in particular that I met. Her name is Grandmother Isabel Mawasaki of the Ojibwe Nation. And I remember going and introducing myself to this beautiful woman with this beautiful long gray hair. And I was like, my name's Enolia, and I wanted to meet you. And will you work with me? Will you teach me? And she's like, my girl, what do you want me to teach you? I hadn't even thought about that. I was just like, I wanted to meet her. I was like, oh my goodness, I asked her to teach me. I don't even know. So I said herbalism, and I just picked something. But what that ended up forging, that forged a lifelong friendship, relationship. And the very first grandmother who taught me, who worked with me, who took me under her wing was the same grandmother 10 years later who would initiate me as a grandmother and an elder and start me on my path as somebody who would work with me and then afford me the opportunity to share that with others. It was a beautiful journey. It still is a beautiful journey. I am not the typical grandmother elder because many people will cast their net in their own culture. So she was Ojibwe and she was a grandmother of the Ojibwe Nation. And I have been accepted and respected in the Ojibwe Anishinaabe lineage, but my net is cast across the world. That's not the only lineage I've been accepted in. I've also been accepted in the lineage of the Quiros Indians of Peru, and I've also been accepted in the lineage of the Ovimbundu tribe here in Africa, in Angola. And that's not including the amount of people that I studied with. I've also gone through ceremony with various other tribal nations, the Waitaha of New Zealand, which I'm sure you're familiar with, as well as, oh, quite a few. I've studied with the Lakota, I've studied with the Yaqui Indians, I've studied with Grandmother Maria Resaburu of the Apache, and then here in Africa with the Sangomas in South Africa, as I can go on and on. The South America also, I cast my net worldwide. So who am I? I'm not like, I am a medicine woman of the world. And I truly come to a place where I respect those cultures that I am not as familiar with. And I sit and I listen and I learn. But when I teach, it is a culmination of all. It is a culmination and a foundation of all. And so all in lived experience from the heart.
and that's what makes you stand out. But
Thank
is
you.
that all the amazing opportunities that you have and that you've lived and worked with all the indigenous tribes, people from all over the world, but you bring all that experience from your heart. And
Yes.
I just like
Yes.
to take a moment to really honor you, truly, really honor you, because you're a walking embodiment of what you can become when you do come from your heart. So much,
And the cup is never full. The
yes.
cup is never full.
You keep on absorbing and learning and sharing it. We live in a world now with technology and AI and everything else that I call it a pandemic of human doingness. We are very good at doing this and doing that and doing, but we have forgotten how to be. We've forgotten how to come from our heart.
It's true.
So thank you, really thank you. I can feel, even though we're worlds away on the other side of the planet, I can feel your energy, your beauty within. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us for the Pathways to Wellbeing podcast. I want to go more. So tell me, Dr. Enola, there is so many things we can go into, but I'd love to know, first of all, you've got this masterclass and your methodology, your empower, achieve, succeed through self-mastery. And that is a big thing because I said, we're very good at doing. We're very good at mastering whatever it is, technology, mastering this, mastering programs, mastering speaking, mastering everything that we do. But mastering the self is a whole different thing.
Yes, it is. And I'd love to share this with you. And like you said, we are excellent at mastering external criteria, all external criteria. Actually, we afford and allow external criteria to define us. But mastering external criteria without laying a strong foundation is like building a house on sand. And you may build that beautiful house and it may stand tall and you may soar in certain respects, but you don't soar with the strong foundation. So what does that mean to me? Like, for example, you may be a master speaker, but you may not be able to overcome the fear that you have every time you get up on stage. And then you force yourself through it. And then once you start talking, okay, I got over the hump, I'll just talk. And you talk and you may be good at it. But why can't we work within ourselves to understand what is the fear that is imposed upon me every time I open that door to speak? What is the fear that I haven't been able to overcome every time I go to lead and I'm insecure? What is the fear that takes place within me every time I go to do whatever it is that I haven't overcome? That means that we haven't taken the time to do the personal development at a foundational level, to understand what was it that triggered that fear, where was the origin point of that fear, what was the judgment that took place. I was told when I was in high school and I was about to graduate and looking and shopping for colleges that I wasn't a writer, that I needed to go to remedial writing. And that hindered me. That prevented me, and I had no confidence in my writing because this guidance counselor told me I needed to take remedial writing before I entered into college. How many of us have given away our power to judgments like that? Now, if I turn back and tell that same guidance counselor that I have 8 books, I've authored 8 books. One is a bestseller, one made the bestseller list, and that I'm writing at a scholarly level. Shame on him for ever telling me what I wasn't capable of doing. But we do that. We give away our power to people who have opinions, thoughts on circumstances that have pushed us out of the way. And what we have to do is we need to go within our inner verse and start taking a mirrored look and loving the totality of what we are and what we see and who we are and who we want to be and what we choose to embody. But in order to do that, we have to go into those vulnerable places. We have to go into those little places that we tuck away and we don't want anyone else to see. And we need to work with finding those pain points and those trauma points, bringing them to the surface, and affording ourselves to release that energy so that we can make that which we stand on strong. So if we were the middle child and we were always told, don't speak, I didn't speak to you. Children are to be seen and not heard. And you're that middle child and you're always quiet, but the oldest was always engaged and the youngest was always babied. You need to work on that pain point. If you are always a leader, but nobody knows that you have major insecurity issues, but you overcome them by overcompensating, stop overcompensating. Let's deal with that point of that insecure aspect of yourself that keeps showing up when it's not supposed to be, when you need your most confident self. How do you make that choice? How do you notice that's taking place in the first place? Those aspects, navigating our innerverse, letting go of stories. We love to hold on to stories.
Yeah.
Oh, we love that. I am a story. But see, we have forgotten as human beings, our job is to navigate and move past the stories so that we can grow. And if we are circling like a dog chasing their tail in a story, what we've done is we've given away our power to that story and we're sedentary. We've stood still. We're not growing. We're not evolving. But the moment that we are able to navigate past the story, learn the lessons from the story, make note of it so that it doesn't repeat itself, then we've done our jobs in terms of navigating and circumventing what needed to take place. All of these pieces are tools, and I call them the 7 principles of self-mastery. How we navigate the power of our words, because what we say is powerful. What we think and say is tremendous and has significant impact. How to redefine fear and what fear actually means and how to overcome it. How we release judgment and stop giving our power away. And we all give our power away.
We certainly do.
Our limited beliefs, getting out of our own way. How we forgive, because forgiveness sets us free. It's freedom. When we lift and we forgive and we lift the trauma that we hold on to. Where we hold our power and how to stand in our truth. And then I am powerful. Those are the 7 principles of self-mastery. And all of those tools, including a few more, we already possess. We do not have to reach outside of ourselves externally to master them. So all of those little checklists that you make and the list that you have to have, and I'm going to check off this and check off that, and did I meet that criteria? You don't need to do that. It's in here. It's within you. It's all in here, and you don't have to reach externally outside of yourself to master it. You have to learn how to access and know what to access. And then you work within. So I call it EAS, Empower, Achieve, Succeed through Self-Mastery. My EAS methodology is based on lived experience. You cannot take this masterclass less than 10. It's a 10-week class, minimally 10 weeks. And if you need longer, because it takes longer to navigate through, then you just take the time that you need. But the reason that it's 10 weeks is because you learn to live what you master as your tools.
Yeah.
You don't just learn them and have knowledge of them. You live them. And it shifts your way of life.
It would definitely, because as you said, it's lived in today's world so much. We want quick fixes, but
yes.
Fixes doesn't go within.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't allow that self-mastery. The power that we are doesn't allow us to step into our power like that.
Exactly.
It's a lived experience.
It's a lived experience, because why do we choose to live these types of experience? To come into coherence, to come into harmony. That's our goal. Nobody wants a chaotic life. We choose to exercise coaching and development and establishing our foundation because we want to come into harmony in our lives. We want a better life. But a better life doesn't mean changing you. A better life might mean making better decisions, navigating the path instead of always bumping up against it or reacting to it. Noticing is the best part of yourself moving you forward or even showing up. So, all of these aspects are presented for you to embrace within yourself and then to navigate and then taught to you so that they are a lived experience from the moment that you learn them on.
And you take it forever in your life.
Yes.
And we were talking just before we came on a little bit about legacies and how your mother left her legacy with you. And when we start to live our experience, we pass them on to future
Yes.
generations and future people.
Yes. And then the beautiful thing about the work that I do is that when that part of yourself bubbles up to the surface where you know you need to release it, you know you need clearing, etc., because I am a medicine woman, we just do the energetic clearing as part of going through the class, of going through all of the mechanisms so that you can have that release, so you can have that clearing. And that's a beautiful thing to be able to experience.
It would be. Like I said, I can feel your amazing and beautiful energy from here. So thank you so much for sharing that. And we're talking about more personal power, reclaiming our personal power, just stepping into that because we've lost it so much. And this is a generalization. So many people in the world today give their power away.
Yes, they do.
Why do you think that is? Why do we allow fear and judgment or a wanting external validation in our lives instead of taking it from within?
I can answer that. It's because not only of the cultural teachings, but the systems that we have to adhere to in order to exist in this world, period. If your system says you have to conform, and if you don't conform, then shame on you, and you're not good enough, and you're not worthy enough, etc., etc. And we deal with so many different systems of this type in our lives. So think of the system of education. Think of the system of entertainment, right? Think of whatever you're engaged in. It's policies and procedures, and a system is set up for you to engage with the system of medical treatment, the system of healthcare, the system of you name it, carpentry, anything. These are the rules. This is what you have to abide by. And if you don't abide by, hand smack, shame on you, blah, 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 blah. And then those people who don't fit in systems, let's say you're an artist and you're like, I can't take it. I don't want to be a part of that system. So you're more freelance and everything else. Oh, then you're woo-woo. You really have no structure. Oh, you're one of those people you can't handle. Why do we do this? I understand that in our humanness, we need to create boundaries. And we create those boundaries because the world is grand. And if you just looked at the whole thing, many people would be overwhelmed. Many people would be overwhelmed. However, in abiding by a lot of systems, we need to be cognizant that we're in a system and not allow and afford that system to define us, but do understand that we are engaged in a system. And I actually write about this. I call it the sovereignty of worth. My book is called The Sovereignty of Worth, and we talk about how systems actually impact our feeling of worthiness. And I say we because it's myself and my beautiful co-author, Bukeka Blakemore, and I wrote this book. So, yes, it's very much important to understand and realize that we shouldn't be allowing systems to define our worth, but the beautiful light that is within us that shines brightly out should be defining our worth.
So very true. especially when you want to become a master of your life and to empower yourself and therefore empower other people. It really is going within. And I love it how you say it's the universe.
It truly is.
It's when we connect with that universe that we have all the answers. We have the source. Mm-hmm.
We do have, and we have everything that we need.
Yes.
And one of the things that we require of ourselves is to learn how to look inwardly to gather our strength and to gather our courage and to source what we need versus looking externally and looking for validation for our worth and validation for or approval for what we want to pursue. Because if we really came with that confidence and that inner validation, that inner trust of self, we would be forces to be reckoned with. All of us. So for me, it is worth it to invest that my focus is to help people rise to the occasion and to ensure that foundation is strong so that they don't have to feel like they came to this world to play small, but that they feel all of the confidence within them to be grand.
Thank you so much for sharing that. It's wonderful. And I'd love to go into Dr. Enola. You said that you're an author of
Yes.
plus you've written some other works as well. And for anyone who is listening or watching our podcast, do click on the links below and check out Dr. Enola's website, because there is a world of wisdom there, a wealth of wisdom. So I definitely want to go into a little bit about that, plus your masterclasses that you offer. But in your writings, in your work, there's like a recurring theme of becoming a bridge between our ancient knowledge and our modern life. Why is it so necessary to bring that ancient knowledge into today's life?
It is necessary because the ancients knew it already. They knew it. They were powerful. They articulated it. They lived it. They breathed it. Think about as simple as what I'm doing right now with you, communications. Think about that first time that we started communicating, right? They tried to say Cro-Magnon man, and somebody said, and made grunts, and that's such foolishness because we modeled the cosmos. We understood that there were cycles, and we articulated that cycles through sound, and then from sound through words, because we wanted to repeat what we had to communicate to others. There was an intuitive knowingness. So we also trusted the body language and the visual understanding and the telepathy of understanding, right? That's when we trusted our gifts the most. We didn't come from a lack of knowledge. There's a plethora of knowledge there. And so the key is to embrace and understand that knowledge and make that, just like we said with the master class, your foundation solid. And master your words. And make your foundation solid so that when you go to express yours and you do the rhetoric of your words, that they are powerful because they have a strong foundation of understanding and a plethora of knowledge, and you build your knowledge so that you can produce wisdom. We read and we learn from others, and then we learn from those who came before us, and then we add ours to it. Or we bring that knowledge to current day, and then we express it with the connection of source, and we can express it as wisdom. It's imperative. Why would you start from zero when it's all right here?
Yes. So very much. We just have to connect to it.
We just have to connect.
Connect to it and remember
So
that.
to me, ancient wisdom, modern times, like I am very much into the understanding of the trivium and quadrivium, which is, I won't get into the whole explanation of the trivium, but the trivium is just understanding the play on words, understanding the grammar, understanding logic, and understanding rhetoric to its infinitesimal detail. And the master works of Sister Miriam Joseph in 1946 authored the trivium. And where does she learn it? Aristotle and the Aristotelian works. But I'm sitting there and I'm reading this work and I'm going, okay, I have to read it again because I don't get it. I don't get how she's expressing it. I need to work at it. I need to work at it. And I read it again. And then what I did is I took her works and I restored it to today's language. Because here's how it flowed for me. Here's how it would flow for you if we were reading it today. Okay, what she would share at the end, I would have wanted to know right up front. And what she said right up front, I didn't need to know until the end. So why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I share it and put in the work, since I'm putting in the work to understand it in the first place, and bring that up to modern times and a modern restoration of that? And so that's where some of my work went. I was like, I have to get this here so that it can flow with where I'm at right now, because it's not 1946.
No, absolutely. It's not, but we can bring that into today's life, as you said. And
Exactly.
I'd love to know, Dr. Enola, talking about past and the present, what has been one of your greatest lessons, personal lessons for your own journey that has taught you self-mastery, if you would like to share?
I will share that if you don't learn the lesson, it repeats. If you don't take the time to acknowledge the lesson, learn the lesson, and take responsibility for your part, the scenario will repeat in your life over and over again until you do. And then you go, why does this keep happening to me? Because you didn't learn the lesson. Because you didn't take the time to take the responsibility of your ownership in it, where you needed to grow and how you needed to grow. And an admission of, I'm responsible. This one is my fault. I can't place blame anywhere else. It's me. It's not a self deprivation. It is a self acknowledgement that here's where I need to grow. I'm going to take responsibility of growing up at this pain point so that this will never take place again. And when you finally do take responsibility for your own actions and your own growth and acknowledgement and understanding what took place and what you were supposed to glean from that lesson learned, guess what? It finally stops repeating and you've moved on. So I would share that is the biggest lesson that I've learned that I would share with anyone, which was a motivator for me to create the masterclass because it was lived experience. So I didn't create a masterclass that I hadn't learned the lessons throughout my whole life for.
So tell us more about the masterclass.
The masterclass is a 10-week class, and what it is, it's self-paced, self-study class in the respect that you make a commitment. You have videos that you listen to every week, and then we meet once a week to review the videos and to talk about how you implement those particular teachings and learnings into your life week by week. And each week we build on it. And then by week 9 to 10, you are able to dissect your own issues and get right down to the pain point, the origin, and the problem. You have all of the tools that you need, and all you need to do is exercise it. And really, if you truly master it, it becomes a way of life. It's a way of life.
That's why it's all about self-mastery.
Self-mastery, exactly.
Mastering yourself. And
And you are never be asked to use anything external from you. Everything is within.
Yes.
Nothing is external.
Yes. It's living the most in your life, getting the best out of your life, stepping into your own power.
Yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely. And knowing how to navigate your own thought processes, knowing how to navigate your own decision processes, knowing how to navigate your own reactionary processes, knowing how to navigating past the story, understanding yourself so well that really no one could define or make a statement about you that you haven't explored within yourself.
Absolutely. And that story that we all have can hold us back so much.
Yes.
We
Yes.
have a wisdom circle of who would you be without your story? When we
I
let
know
go of the story, let it go,
let it go.
magic miracles can occur.
Yeah, it really can. It truly can. If you afford yourself the opportunity,
Yes.
walking down a different path of awareness, one that is conscious instead of unconscious.
And I know, Dr. Enola, so many people, myself included, I think, and again, I think this is part of the world pandemic of human doings, is that I'm too busy to do this, too busy to do that. But in your experience, what is just one daily habit that has transformed your life?
Notice. Notice how I think. Notice how I see the world. Notice how the world impacts me and notice how I choose to impact the world with my words, with my actions, with my stories. Notice.
Yes, take the time just to notice. Notice what's going on around me. As you said, notice how I am impacting the world. And myself, obviously, has to start with myself. Notice how my thoughts are impacting my world and their
Exactly.
greater world.
Exactly. Notice.
I'd love for you to come back, Dr. Nola, truly. Let's have a part two. But
Thank
before
you.
we wrap up, if I can ask, what does the pathway to well-being mean for you?
A pathway to well-being means holding a vision for myself. Dream a beautiful dream or you will be dreamt. If you don't hold a vision for yourself so that life can become a walk to that vision, then you will end up living somebody else's thoughts of you. And that's no way to live because there is no true vision. People's visions change all the time. Their perception of you, what you should be doing, how you should be doing it. So you have to hold it for yourself. Don't let other people define what you should be or who you should be. You define you.
Uh,
That's what I would leave you with.
Definitely. And as you said, live the dream. It's nice.
Live your dream. Absolutely. Live your vision of yourself.
And allow that to flow through you into your heart. You just feel it. Now, we've mentioned legacies a little bit, the legacy that your mother left you. What legacy do you hope to leave behind for future generations?
I hope to leave the power of positive thinking, positive being, and positive embodying through the words that I write, through the words that I speak, and through the light, hopefully, that I project as I engage. I truly do. So that if I can positively impact somebody's life, just even for a moment, then I feel like I've done everything that I was here to do.
Please, if I can let you know, Dr. Enolia, you are projecting some amazing radiant light, so you don't have to worry about that. You are the embodiment of what we're talking about. Is there any other question that I could have asked you? And how would have you answered?
No, I think you've covered everything beautifully here. I thank you for what you do and the fact that you gave me this platform to be able to share. So thank you for what you bring and what you do and the light that you are. So appreciative and just grateful. So thank you for all that you do, Sophia, because you do a lot. I don't know how you do it. You are tremendous. You are a tremendous gift to this world. And please don't ever stop.
And likewise to you, Dr. Nolan. Thank you. It's been an honor chatting with you. And I really would like you to come back and have part 2 and part 3 and part 4, because I can feel your wisdom. The world needs to hear it. The world needs to experience it.
Thank you.
You are a light for the world. So let us shine both our lights, but especially your light, together in many more conversations. So thank you ever so much.
Thank you. I truly appreciate it.
As we wrap up today's episode of the Pathways to Wellbeing podcast, I would like to thank Dr. Enolia for such an interesting and thought-provoking conversation. Dr. Enolia reminded us that if she can positively impact someone's life, even for a moment, then she feels she has fulfilled her purpose. That sentiment truly encapsulates the essence of today's episode. Living with intention, embodying your truth, and shining your light in service to others. If you would like to explore Dr. Enolia's work further, be sure to check out her Empower, Achieve, and Succeed through Self-Mastery Masterclass, where she guides participants through her transformative methodology and the 7 principles of self-mastery. You may also wish to explore her books, including The Sovereignty of Worth, which examines how systems influence our sense of worthiness and how we can reclaim our personal sovereignty. You will find all the details and links below. At Sacred You, we are passionate about creating spaces where women from all over the world can support, uplift, and empower each other. Visit our website and check out all our upcoming workshops, events, community offerings, and our Soul Seeker quiz. We are at www.sacredu, that is the letter U, .love. And as always, if this episode spoke to you, please subscribe to our podcast, share it with a friend, or leave us a review. As Dr. Enolia reminded us, dream a beautiful dream, or you will be dreamt. Hold a vision for yourself, trust your inner wisdom, release the stories that keep you small, and step fully into the power of who you are. Until next time, stay grounded, stay inspired, stay connected, and keep walking your pathway to well-being. From our heart to yours, thank you.